in that area at one time is time, Kala, Lord of time. So go and tell him, all the incompletions I have about my vision, my seeing, which is known to me, I am responsible. I'll dig them out and complete and drop. Whatever is not known to me, you are responsible, complete them. Or make them known to me, so that I can complete. Either I should be Lord of life or you should be Lord of life. No third person in between you and me. That's all. Either I should be or you should be. No unknown zone, no blind spot between you and me. Not having blind spot between you and Guru is surrender. Not having blind spots between you and Kalabhairava is authenticity. No blind spots. Either for all this I am responsible and I am completing it, and whatever is not known within my framework, you are responsible. You are completing it. But ultimately, we are neither going to have known incompletion nor going to allow unknown incompletion. That's all. Neither known incompletion nor unknown incompletion. Both will not be allowed. Everyone who has spectacle, corrupted, made to be impure, having choices is not wrong, but corrupting the other part which you think you don't need is wrong. Or limiting yourself due to your choices is wrong. So understand. And liberate yourself. Understand and liberate yourself.
So all of us just saw the various revelations that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has given about Kalabhairava, the Lord of Time and Space, the form of Paramashiva of rejuvenation. So let us all internalize in our own life how we can get ready to receive Bhagavan Kalabhairava in all our lives today, just in a few moments. So we have a short internalizing exercise for all the viewers to look inside and get ready for receiving, being in the right space to receive Bhagavan Kalabhairava in all our lives. Out of completion from powerfulness, every decision you make, every action you do, every thought you have is fulfilled. From the space of completion, when you operate, you are fulfilled, blessed, showered, and completion is possible. But the more and more you struggle saying, I am not able to complete because of your laziness to internalize your incompletions, discover your incompletions, discover your patterns because of arrogance, If you do not discover your patterns, if you do not do the completion because of your laziness or boredom or uninspiredness or arrogance, whatever may be the reason, the more and more you indulge in the idea completion is not possible, or I am not able to complete, I am not able to get rid, Kalabhairava destroys that boredom, tiredness, uninspiredness inside you. This is the logic of Kala. This is directly the revelation from our beloved Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, on how Mahakala Bhairava removes the part of us that doesn't want to evolve, that doesn't want to get inspired and move to the next levels. So it is up to all of us to make sure that we identify our thought currents, our patterns, the ideas, thought currents inside us, which is not allowing us to explore our complete dimensions. So let us now pen down at least 5 patterns, situations in which you felt completion is not possible, or I am not able to complete, or I am not able to get rid of this pattern, or how much ever I try to complete, I am not able to complete. For example, you always felt you are unlucky and you did the completion, but even after the completion, you are still experiencing life the same way, or the same thought currents were repeating, and you gave up on completion. The solution is to have will persistence and look at what you missed in the completion process and realign, but not give up on completion itself. Persist till you are complete. So I request all the viewers to internalize and pen down the 5 patterns or situation in which you felt completion is not possible, or I am not able to complete. Let's begin with the step 1 of this exercise. Intensely look inside and pen down every situation, every incident where you felt that completion is not possible. As Swamiji beautifully says, that when we accept the fact that completion is not possible, or when we are not inspired by ourselves to do the completion, it is then when Mahakalabhairava gets involved and destroys that part of us. So let's all look inside and make sure that we do not allow that impossibility and that space of I am not able to complete, where we, because of our patterns, because of laziness, boredom, tiredness, or just the feeling of not being inspired, are not looking in and completing. So let's all internalize deeply and make sure that we are looking inside and write down the patterns in situations. Only when you write down the situations, it actually you're able to reflect on all of those situations where you miss, where you can reflect on those situations and make sure it does not repeat in your lives again. So let's all internalize and continue to write down the situations, thought currents. It can even be a situation, for example, that you are not able to come on time for yoga in the morning. And you are not able to come on time for the yoga. And when you try to look inside, you feel lazy to look inside or find out the root thought pattern in which you are caught that allows that laziness in the morning. And when you are too uninspired or negligent to look at that pattern inside of you, that is when the pattern affects you and does not allow you to grow. So look inside and write down those moments when you felt completion is not possible because of your patterns of laziness and tiredness. Let's continue. Nityanam. So all of us wrote down where we thought that completion is not possible for us, the incidents where we thought completion is not possible. So let's enter into the step 2 of exercise. So in this step 2, we are going to look inside and identify the real reason why you did not complete with those patterns, even though you are suffering from them. Is it because of your laziness or boredom or uninspiredness or arrogance? Look inside yourself and identify the exact reason. For example, if you are not waking up on time for the yoga, and even though it is not healthy for your body or it is not helping you in your day to day routine, identify the exact reason why the completion did not happen and why you felt you cannot complete. Is it the reason could be you did not feel the completion process works for you, or just laziness to sit and go through the whole completion process, or you just procrastinated and thought you would do it later but never got to do it. So identify the exact thought current why you did not do the completion inside yourself. Sit and look inside. And for each of the 5 incidents that you had written, why you thought completion is not possible, for each one of those 5 incidents, look inside and identify the real reason why you did not complete with those patterns. Please continue. Nithyanandam. So with that, let's now move on to the next step of the exercise. So all of us should realize that completion is possible. The only decision that you need to take is to internalize and to go on completing till your incompletions become tired. In this game, the first person who becomes tired loses, whether you're going to become tired or your incompletions are going to become tired. That is the whole game. Only your decision to be in the space of completion can save yourself. With the above powerful cognition, decide ferociously to complete with all your patterns right now. So with that, we'll now be getting ready to receive the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Kalabhairava. We'll be moving on to the next session. I request all the viewers to come back and settle down, and let's get ready to move on to the next segment of today's introduction to the Kalabhairava Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Thank you, Nithyananda.
Through this Jnana Charya, Jnana Kriya, Jnana Yoga, Jnana Jnana is Mahaparamashivam. Lifestyle for just Paramashiva. Rituals to be just Paramashiva. Yoga for just being Paramashiva. Jnana, just Paramashiva. This Mahaparamashivoham is like literally the ultimate journey in a most safest way. Understand, literally last 39 years from the age of 5, whatever Paramashiva manifested through teaching, speaking, writing, every way, condensing the whole thing and presenting it to you all as experientially in these 21 days through this Jnana Charya, Jnana Kriya, Jnana Yoga, Jnana Jnana is Mahaparamashivoham. Lifestyle for just Paramashiva. Rituals to be just Paramashiva. Yoga for just being Paramashiva. Jnana, just Paramashiva. This Mahaparamashivogam is like literally the ultimate journey in a most safest way. Understand, literally last 39 years from the age of 5, whatever Paramashiva manifested through teaching, speaking, writing, every way, condensing the whole thing and presenting it. Paramashivam. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. Paramashivam. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. Om Nityananda Paramashivam.
Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtam Dvandvatitam Gaganasudhisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavaditam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nityanandam, we welcome all the viewers and participants all around the world in more than 175 countries to this amazing Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Kalabhairava, manifesting through the Nijavatara, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Paramashivam. And before we go to the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, we are going to be having a very interesting segment on the various contributions of Kailasa in reviving the festivities and celebrations of life. Sanatana Hindu Dharma, it is not just a religion, it is the lifestyle itself. The lifestyle that constitutes various aspects, including festivities and celebrations, the knowledge streams through Shastras, Vedas and Agamas, and all the pilgrimage centers. Each and every branch or each and every Shastra gave birth to thousands of religions, because every single Shastra, every single manuscript is a religion by its own. And all of these religions, traditions, culture that comprises under the huge umbrella of Sanatana Hindu Dharma congregates in one point. And that point is Kumbh Mela. Kumbh Mela is the world's largest spiritual celebration in the world, where literally thousands and thousands of sampradayas, traditions and cultures all congregate at one point. And in this point, it's huge celebration where you can literally see how each of these traditions are unique in its own way, and yet all of them come together to celebrate. All of them can coexist, all of them can appreciate each other, and all of them can still be unique and still be celebrated under Sanatana Hindu Dharma. That is the uniqueness of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. And in this way, every level, every single dimension of life, the whole thing is all about reiterating the core purpose of life, which is living enlightenment. So the Kumbh Mela is a grand celebration, grand congregation of all these different sampradayas together, where all of these sampradayas come together. Literally imagine 30 million people gathered for a Kumbh Mela event. 30 million people is something like 2.5 times the population of New York City. Yes, 2.5 times the population of New York City just congregate at one place. All of these people are unique in their own perspectives. They all come together and celebrate this grand, very huge spiritual breakthrough that they can ever experience in an event called Shahi Snan. And today's segment, we're going to see how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Paramashivam, has revived this Kumbh Mela, has in fact taken this Kumbh Mela to the whole globe, right? So just before we get into the segment, just would like to share a small Puranic reference of how this Kumbh Mela started. So when there was a conflict between the Devas and Asuras on who is going to take the Amrita Kalasha, during that fight, the Amrita Kalasha fell down in 4 places. And all these 4 places is where the Kumbh Mela happens. And traditionally, this is one of the oldest festivals in the history of the planet Earth. It has a recorded history of about 12,000 years. 12,000 years unbroken record of Kumbh Mela being celebrated in this world. And more than this, Swamiji has taken this Kumbh Mela to the whole globe. Swamiji is authorized, the only authorized person to celebrate this Kumbh Mela outside of India, outside of all these 4 pilgrim places. And more than a decade, the Kumbh Mela is being celebrated by Kailasa USA and Kailasa Canada, and once it has also happened in Kailasa Melbourne. So today's segment is all about, we will see a lot more exciting things, a lot more celebrative sharings from various people who have been part of this historic Kumbh Melas conducted by Kailasa. So before we get into the sharing, we're just going to play a video just for all of us to understand what it feels to be in Kumbh Mela.
वन्दनं गुरुवन्दनं నిత్యానంద గురు చరణ వందనం. పద సద సద గ పద పద పరి గ ప గ ప గ సరి గ రి గ ప గ పద పద సరి గ రి రి సద స పద సద సద గ పద పద పరి గ ప గ ప గ సంకట కవచ మధురానుభవానందం గురు స్మరణం. నిత్యానంద రూపం 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 నిత్యానంద రూపం. వందనం గురు వందనం గురు చరణ వందనం. వందనం గురు వందనం గురు చరణ వందనం. నిత్యానంద గురు చరణ వందనం. వందనం గురు వందనం గురు చరణ వందనం. నిత్యానంద గురు చరణ వందనం. జన్మ సార్థకకరం గురు దర్శనం. వందనం గురు వందనం గురు చరణ వందనం. నిత్యానంద గురు చరణ వందనం. పద సద సద గ పద పద పరి గ ప గ ప గ సరి గ రి గ ప గ పద పద సరి గ రి రి సద స పద సద సద గ పద పద పరి గ ప గ ప గ సంకట కవచ మధురానుభవానందం గురు స్మరణం. నిత్యానంద రూపం 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 నిత్యానంద రూపం. వందనం గురు వందనం గురు చరణ వందనం. వందనం గురు వందనం గురు చరణ వందనం. నిత్యానంద గురు చరణ వందనం. వందనం గురు వందనం గురు చరణ వందనం. నిత్యానంద గురు చరణ వందనం.
I welcome you all with my love and respect. Let you all open all your three eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivam शिवोऽहम्।
Yes, and that was just a glimpse of what we all experienced as Kumbh Mela few years before. And in this segment, we are having Manatya Atmadayananda, who was the House of Representatives of Kailasa for the whole of Europe. And I think more than few hundreds of participants had come from different parts of Europe. I think more than 25 countries. They all joined from different parts of Europe and different culture. They've never heard about Kumbh Mela before. But how the entire group was in such ecstasy being part of this Shahi Snan. So it's my pleasure and honor to welcome Ma Atmadaya for this segment, who's going to share with us very, very interesting things about Shahi Snan and how was it coordinating this effort with people who are completely from different backgrounds, different parts of the country, different parts of the world, and yet ensuring that all of them are together, and how do they all enjoy?
Yes, thank you, and my Nityanandam pranams to everyone. So thank you, Ma Pranapriya, for having me here. Actually, the video we just watched of the whole procession, this is one of the most colorful, vibrant part of the whole thing, because of course the beauty is the whole thing revolves around these Shahi Snans, and that particular year there were three special occasions, and one comes to mind very, very clearly because it's like whenever there is any celebration we have in Hinduism, there is a whole drive up to it. So it's not just the day, but it's all the preparation that went on beforehand. And I would say I would go back to the day before. So the Shahi Snan was happening very early in the morning. There was like a specific window in which we were to do the Shahi Snan. So the main thing about Kumbh Mela, for me, what stands out is the actual procession to Shipra River, to have the actual dip, which is like, there's like, it's not a huge amount of time to have that dip, but it's like the whole work towards it itself becomes a memorable experience. So I'll go back to, first of all, I had myself not been to Kumbh Mela. Although I'm born in a Hindu family, I heard about Kumbh Mela, but I only heard like some here and there negative things in terms of, oh, that's where kids get lost and that kind of stuff, right? So for me, I never had this particular pull to go to Kumbh Mela. Because Swamiji is there and the invite was there, it was like, it's a no-brainer, I'm going. And only because of Swamiji, I even got to be there in the first place. And I'm sure that was the case for all the 5,000 people that were there, all the 5,000 participants. But if I go back to sharing about the actual procession itself, so the day before, we had this huge space, the hall that was built for us temporarily. And in that huge hall, which fit easily 5,000 people, we had the day before itself, we had this, I guess, a practice run of the whole thing, where we had the flags, we had the umbrellas, and we knew what segments we were going to be, doing the actual dry run in. So people from all sorts of backgrounds, people who had never possibly even done any practice of Hinduism, they were there. People who have just heard about Swamiji, who decided to come on the invite very spontaneously. All kinds of cultures, languages, experiences, spiritual backgrounds were there. And we had this one practice run. And then the next day we were up very, very early, hardly slept, very early, ready to cheer. And we knew for me, I can talk about myself, I knew roughly where we were heading, but it wasn't difficult because everybody had flags. As you saw in the video, we had flags. And we started before daybreak. So what you see in the video is daylight, but any case, there was this vibrant atmosphere that was really electric, decorated, colorful umbrellas, deities, Swamiji's chariot, literally thousands of devotees, all cultures, all backgrounds, and we are all cheering, chanting, devotional music blaring. We are having dancing happening. So it was a stop and then continue. So we stopped for a few minutes, enjoyed, danced, and then we walked a bit more and then danced a bit more. And then there were people who were actually we took over I'm sure we took over the roads. We took over the road. There were people on the side. Their eyes were open. They were enjoying the atmosphere. I remember even the next day we were in the newspaper because it was the most vibrant celebration of the year, and it was all in all the newspapers. All the photographs were from Swamiji in the chariot, Swamiji receiving all the flowers. You saw people were, showering Swamiji with flowers and garlands, getting involved in the celebrations and things like that. So literally an adventure of a lifetime for me. I had, and it's a very immersive experience. Very quickly I'm sure myself and everybody got to learn that life is a celebration when it comes to Hinduism, and that was very apparent in that what it would have been like a 6-hour 7-hour journey, which we prepared for. So order in chaos, chaos in order. Then I had a rough idea. We all were prepared, know that we are going in this direction. This is where we're headed. This is where we're going to take a dip in the Shipra River. And what an amazing blessing. Like, I found out afterwards that my grandmother always wanted to go to Kumbh Mela, but she never got to. So she was very proud that I had been to Kumbh Mela, and I only was able to go there because of Swamiji. And if it's the pull, the alive, immersive experience that was available. So as we walked on the streets, and the procession continued, the music continued, and so many people from outside got involved. And I didn't realize the full impact of it actually on people until in 2021, when one of the devotees in UK, she said to me that she was there for Kumbh Mela and she didn't know about Swamiji at the time, and she saw Swamiji in the chariot. She saw Swamiji and she was thinking, who is this being? She was pulled towards Swamiji, and she didn't know who it was, and she wanted to know more. She was automatically attracted to Swamiji without knowing much. And then later on in 2020, she got connected. She got to know more and she got connected, and now she's a devotee of Swamiji. So the people that were not part of the procession, in terms of who had come specifically to be with Swamiji, those people were also affected. The general public that were on the sidelines enjoying, they had come on their own accord to enjoy Kumbh Mela. They also got beautifully blessed by Swamiji. So yeah, that's what I would share. An amazing, alive adventure of a lifetime, because although we were prepared, we didn't know how it was going to turn out, and everything went beautifully well. Everybody got to have a dip. And then actually the London deities we have now, the Utsava Murtis, we carried them them through the whole procession, and they also took a dip with us, and then we brought them back. So I can't tell you, life is a celebration, and that beautiful, colorful experience forever etched in my memory, and I'm sure in the memories of many, many people that came.
That's wonderful, Martha, for your sharing. I just wanted to add that just to give a context of what happens during this Peshwai, Akhada Parishad, the ecclesiastical body that holds the entire religious clan of Hinduism, has 13 Akhadas. And Swamiji is the Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada. So on the day of Shahi Snan, each of these Akhada and their respective Mahamandaleshwars, they all come in certain order and they take the first dip in the river. So about from 30 million people who take dip, first privileged ones are the Mahamandaleshwars of these Akhadas. And we, all of us being part of Swamiji's Kumbh Mela camp, we are all blessed to be part of this, blessed to be part of having this privileged dip very ahead of time. And so each of these Akhadas, they come with their respective Mahamandaleshwar, and the Mahamandaleshwar will have his own people, and they all come in the procession. So please imagine, all of us are coming from different backgrounds. Many of us do not know what is Kumbh Mela, and many of us have not heard about Kumbh Mela. And there's a lot of Westerners, maybe probably the first time they're even experiencing Hinduism. So much of diversity is there in our camp. And what Swamiji did was something so extraordinary. He, inspired the whole group, people from all the different countries. And we all did a drive and literally, what is going to happen in Kumbh Mela the previous night, sat through the whole night, and Swamiji guided each and every country. Okay, now you hold the flag. When this person stands in the first, this person stands next. So we actually had a mini Shahi Snan Peshwai the day before the Peshwai happened. So all of us had carried our umbrellas and flags and everything. So Swamiji was ensuring that everybody knows what they're going to do, what they're going to experience. So the previous day, literally, we all did it in our own camp. We did a Peshwai, a small Peshwai. And so we all know what we are going to, so Swamiji literally prepared us for the big day. And when the big day happened, we know, we are confident of what we are going to do. And we are seeing there, crores and crores of people literally are enamored at Swamiji's grace. Every single person was prostrating and taking blessings and selfie and autograph and whatnot, showing arati. All the Akhada sadhus worshipping Swamiji, Naga sadhus worshipping Swamiji. The whole scene was something beyond our expectation and visualization. And the start thing, what I wanted to bring it out is, on one hand, in the previous day, Swamiji is sitting with all of us and ensuring that we know what is Peshwai, and he's actually training us. Okay, this is how you do it. And on the next day, as an avatar, he's grazing the whole humanity, like literally crores and crores of people. Throughout the way, everybody was worshipping Swamiji. You can see the two contrasts, isn't it, Martha? That's something phenomenal, because we always feel, right, we cannot get into details when we look into larger goals, but that is not the case at all. Swamiji has always got into micro to micro details, trained, and ensure that every being gets the best of what we are going to expect on the next day. And at the same time, next day, Swamiji is gracing as Paramashivam himself, and literally the whole city celebrated Swamiji's existence that day.
Yes, absolutely. This is the beauty of, Swamiji, how accessible he is, working together, and how Swamiji comes right to the level of our understanding. Like the smallest of things, like hold the flag like this, etc. Because of course for me, I can speak for myself personally, I had not been part of something like this. So like a mother graciously teaching, showing and guiding, and then the same mother, worshipped by so many people. And that's the beauty of Swamiji. He doesn't, I don't experience that gap, that meaning like, oh, there is a gap that I can't approach Swamiji. He's very approachable. There's with the beautiful guidance that he gives. And I learned about my own culture so quickly by being, and I don't think there's a YouTube video or any Wikipedia or anything that could have actually taught me about Kumbh Mela the way Swamiji taught, right? So it's on the go, learning about everything on the go. It wasn't like, okay, first I'm going to learn, then I'm going to go. So learning about the Shahi Snan, learning about the procession, learning about being with the akhada, learning the structure of the akhada, learning everything together in an immersive, experiential ambience. Such a beautiful ecosystem created by Swamiji, where I actually didn't even feel like I was learning as such, if that makes sense. It was so easy to imbibe because my system was taking it in, my whole body system was taking it in, by being there. So yeah, every time I think of Kumbh Mela, I think about the whole thing, from beginning to end, how Swamiji brought the whole thing to life. But the procession, of course, I had this thing about, I don't want to walk that far. This was in my brain. It's like, I don't want to walk that far. But being part of the procession was so easy. It was made so easy. And even in that April heat, the heat also was quite high. So, April, May heat is quite high in India, and especially in Ujjain. In that area, it's much more, it's much more hotter. But it was made so easy, pleasurable, and alive. So it's in my, I can say it's in my system. It's like it's part of me. So it's not even something I'm going to experience and forget about. It's part of me. So it comes with me. Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Mahatmaya. And we will once again come back and would like to hear your thoughts about it. So now to viewers, I'm going to share, just like how I mentioned about Swamiji is the Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanadvani Akada. We'll just take a look at the coronation that Swamiji had, where all the Akada sadhus came together and coronated Swamiji as the Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanadvani Akada. Let's
गणेश शारदा सद्गुरु मंगलमूर्तिभ्यो नमः। यं ब्रह्म वेदान्तविदो वदन्ति परं प्रधानं पुरुषं तथान्ये विश्वोद्गते कारणमीश्वरं वा तस्मै नमो मस्य श्री गुरुगीता माला मन्त्रस्य भगवान् सदाशिवऋषिः विराट् छन्दः श्री गुरु परमात्मा देवता हम बीजं सशक्तिः सोऽहं कीलकम् श्री गुरु कृपा प्रसाद सिद्ध्यर्थे जपे विनियोगः। ॐ हंसां सूर्यात्मने अंगुष्ठाभ्यां नमः। ॐ हंसीं सोमात्मने तर्जनीभ्यां नमः। ॐ हंसूं निरञ्जनात्मने अतनु सूक्ष्मात्मने कनिष्ठिकाभ्यां नमः। ॐ हंसः अव्यक्तात्मने करतलकरपृष्ठाभ्यां नमः। ॐ हंसां सूर्यात्मने हृदयाय नमः। ॐ हंसीं सोमात्मने शिरसे स्वाहा। ॐ हंसूं निरञ्जनात्मने शिखायै वषट्। ॐ हंसैं निराभासात्मने कवचाय हुम्। ॐ हंसौं मतनु सूक्ष्मात्मने नेत्रत्रयाय वौषट्। ॐ हंसः अव्यक्तात्मने अस्त्राय फट्। भूर्भुवः सुवरोमिति दिग्बन्धः। ध्यानम् हंसाभ्यां परिवृत्तपत्रकमलैः दिव्यैर्जगत्कारणम् विश्वोत्कीर्णमनेकदेकनिलयम् स्वच्छन्दमानन्दकम् आद्यन्तैकमखण्डचित्त।
Yes. So that was the most beautiful coronation of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvaniya Kala. And after this coronation, Swamiji has immensely contributed in the revival of this kingdom. And the best part is Swamiji has revived so many aspects of this entire kingdom, and one of such aspects is the entire temple tradition. And in the Kumbh Mela, we had a huge temple that was set up, and so many deities, literally thousands and thousands of deities, were all brought from Adi Kailash to Kumbh Mela camp, and every single deity was so beautifully decorated, and prayers and worship, everything was offered. And we have here, for sharing the first-hand experience, Ma Muktika, who's one of the global temple leads, and who's going to come here and share with all of us her experiences of being in Kumbh Mela with Swamiji, and how Swamiji revived this entire temple tradition in Kumbh Mela.
Nityanandam, thank you, Ma Pranapriya. And it's an honor to even be able to share a little bit about what the significance and what it meant to even be in the Punya Kshetra, in a Tirtha Sthalam, right? Like how we experienced in Kumbh Mela. I think in one line, I don't think anybody can ever understand what it means to experience Kumbh Mela, to experience the Snan, to experience Sanatana Hindu Dharma the way we did when we went for Kumbh Mela. And I don't think any amount of talk or explanation ever prepares you for that experience. That is how powerful and that is how revealing the whole event ended up being for us. And I'm sure for millions of people over centuries that have attended any Kumbh Mela. And to be able to be part of an avatar's Kumbh Mela, the journey of being part of the camp is very, very unique. One thing that really stood out for me was the amazing aspect of how the temple was set up at the Kumbh Mela camp. It's almost out of this world and beyond human to have managed to have so many hundreds of deities, very carefully packed and readied and shipped, and not just the deities, but having the clothes, whatever it is that a deity needs for the seva, for what needs to happen for them every day, to be able to bring everything. So essentially, Swamiji carried an entire town to Kumbh Mela. That's how I would put it. He has set up in that one camp, you had everything you needed to be part of a spiritual ecosystem. And the temple stood as the strong structure that held the ground for everybody. And the beauty of it is that when the temple was set up there, it actually involved and had the deities that represented all the Kailasas across the world. It is not just one place, but rather he brought the entire global presence to Kumbh Mela. It was phenomenal from, the way the outside structure looked, the beauty of the pillars, the beauty of the entire structure, to every micro detail of what needs to be part of a temple was actually there in Kumbh Mela. And it is beyond words to even describe the hundreds of thousands of people who came from miles and miles away. In addition to the several thousand people who were part of our camp, there were people who heard about the temple. There were people who heard about what Swamiji was doing. There were people who wanted to see what this temple, what this space was all about, that came, it didn't matter whether it was day or night. And there were people lining up to actually see the deities. The alankarams, the sevas that were done by the Balasans at that time. And, right from the morning onwards, when they were woken up with the traditional Suprabhatam, all the way to Palyarai, where they are put to sleep at the end of the day, every seva was done for the deities without missing. And that's such a powerful space for every person to experience and understand what it means to be part of a temple. Why do you need a temple, right? He actually gave that experience to people. Swamiji has really brought the temples to people, whether it's Temple on Wheels or whether it's the temple that was there in Kumbh Mela. Every aspect of it taught people what it meant to be part of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. And that's, the words just don't, do justice to when people came for the darshan of the deities. They came to have darshan of Swamiji. They came to, prostrate in front of him and the deities to say how pleased and how happy they were to have come and had this darshan. We've had so many people come and talk to us and ask us, how was it like to be part of the camp? They were so, awestruck by how much was happening. The amount of things that are, that relate to a temple that was made available to people was just astounding. And for someone having come from outside, and this being my first Kumbh Mela also, just like Ma Atmadaya, I don't think I was even prepared an ounce for what was in store. And to be a part of this global happening was just so fulfilling and so revealing, I would say, about my own, dharma, my own religion, my own way of life. It truly made a huge impact in how I perceived Sanatana Hindu Dharma. And the essence of why Swamiji is bringing this up and why temples was made so clear to so many people. Just the experience spoke volumes to everybody who had come there. When they saw how a deity is taken care of, what does the deity do, how the deity gets to, be your co-creator of your realities, how do they bless you, how do they energize you, that one-on-one connect for an individual is something that I could see there. And, as I was, allowing that to happen to myself, I was watching how others were so excited. They brought their families, their kids, their parents. I mean, people came in droves, I would say. The whole family was actually there. And they were just simply floored by what they received. And every day, Swamiji would be sitting there to give darshan. And I still clearly remember he would have both his hands outstretched. And when he blessed people, people were given, he gave them this huge the laddus that were made in the kitchen there, people could hardly hold it in their hand. That's how huge it was. And you could see that feeling of, feeling so overwhelmed and so happy at receiving such a huge thing. The only thing people kept asking is, how is this possible? How is this happening? But it is possible. And that's what Swamiji is showing us through this. The experience was simply out of this world. It truly brings you to understand, what is temple? What is the deity there for? Why guru? Every aspect, you get to have Vakyartha Sadhus. You get to have, the conversations with people randomly, visitors who come, people you have no clue who they are, but they are just ecstatic and they're very happy to be there, in Kumbh Mela and being part of this. People, in fact, travel for miles and miles and miles just to come and get Swamiji's darshan and to get the darshan of the deities, because they heard about the temple, they heard about everything that was happening, and they felt they couldn't miss it. And that was the beauty of it. And in fact, we had a huge set of hurricanes out there, tornadoes. And, I happened to be part of one. The amount of water and the amount of, what was happening around, the one thing I can say is our camp pretty much did not get affected. The whole camp was protected by Swamiji's energy field and the energy field of the deities. He showed it to us by our experience that this is how Sanatana Hindu Dharma works. This is how the presence of the deities, presence of a guru makes a difference in your life. And in normal life, I don't think people would, think of, they would look at like what Mahatmadev was saying. You'd think, oh, there is Kumbh Mela that happens. There is, oh, this particular event happens. Oh my God, there are millions and millions and millions of people out there. It's an ocean of humanity. Do I really want to be there? Or maybe it's too much. It's too crowded. I don't want to be there. But the moment you are there, it just takes you on a journey by itself that is only meant to be experienced. For every one of us who feels the need for a temple, the need for being grounded in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, the need for why this makes a difference in our lives, right? How does it empower us? It was an essential journey for every one of us who made it there, and an eye-opening, revealing journey for every one of us. I mean, I can still not forget the entire structure, the way when you step inside the temple, the awe-inspiring nature of the entire space, and that pure devotion, more than you feeling, wow, it's that feeling of surrender and devotion that you feel that radiates, that just penetrates through you, it brings you into that space of being in commune with the divine. And that makes it so fulfilling.
I just wanted to add to what you're saying, Mamtika, about 600 trucks of material was transported from Bidadi to Jain to make that entire temple set up, right? And all of these items, it's not just the deity, the entire paraphernalia, all the different items, so many things. Like it's like thousands and thousands of things that accompanied the whole deity structure, and every single thing. It's not just bought by money. It's actually bought from a lot of hard work and Tyaga of Swamiji. The details that he gets into in picking up each item and choosing each item for deity is something you cannot even comprehend. And the best part is, after buying all of that and assembling all of that, making this whole temple, at the end of the Kumbh Mela, I still remember, I used to be Mahant of Melbourne at that time, and a few other Mahants, we all came, and Swamiji said, okay, whatever you want, you can just go and take it from the whole store. I was like, what? And we were like little kids, just entered into the stall and then, okay, I want this. Probably we didn't even know the names of many of the things that Swamiji had collected. But the perspective that I really want to bring it out is how Swamiji is inspiring, right? It's after collecting all of these such precious items, assembling it and making this whole temple, and immediately he's giving nature that, okay, now you go and set it up the same thing in different parts of the world. It's all about enriching, constantly enriching in every level. That one thing I very clearly remember right after the end of the Kumbh Mela, how Swamiji called all of us and said, okay, now you can go and take whatever you want from this entire setup.
Actually, I clearly remember where each of us were saying, okay, look, in our temples, this thing will fit. It will fit. This particular one fits perfectly in our temple. Our temples are big enough, or this deity is there that needs this particular, the Prabhavali or the structure or the outside. It was just, and like you're saying, it just felt like being a kid in a candy store. That's how they say it. So you don't know what you want to choose and what you want to leave. And, I still remember, before, like Swamiji had said, there is absolutely nothing wrong in being, wanting that when it is for the greater good of humanity.
Actually, with Swamiji, he brings that want also within us. I don't know, at least for me to go and take things for a temple, it's something so, I don't connect so easily to that. But so I'm sure many of the youngsters today, they may also be in the same page. But how Swamiji builds that interest constantly and makes us feel connected to the deities and feel that, okay, this is something which I want to do in my life, inspiring them in a very beautiful manner. And each being actually was carved in Kumbh Mela, I would say. Personally, I had so many powerful spiritual experiences, and in fact, my mother, she left the body as I was celebrating the Kumbh Mela with the whole camp. I got to hear that my mother left the body, and Swamiji brought her back to life. Giving it was such a medical miracle that doctors were completely astonished. They've clinically declared her dead, but Swamiji brought her back to life. After having to give all those experiences, spiritual experiences, personal breakthroughs, how Swamiji grooms each and every being amidst all this huge work that Swamiji is doing as Mahamandaleshwara of Mahanirvani Akada, and so many other akadas were coming forward and taking Swamiji's guidance and how to advance Sanatana Hindu Dharma. There were several parishads where Swamiji graced and gave his vision for Sanatana Hindu Dharma. When Swamiji is doing such huge work, he also finds time to simple disciples. Every single person, he ensures that, okay, that person is attended to. I still remember one of the single mother. She was a single mother. I don't want to name the person. She was looking for an accommodation, actually, and then she was looking for an accommodation, and Swamiji assigned one of the volunteers to look into it. After 2 days, and the whole campus like filled with 15,000, 20,000 people. Amongst all those people, Swamiji picked that girl and then asked, "Is your accommodation sorted out?" And and then the girl said, "It is sorted out, but I still have this water problem." Then Swamiji assigns the next person and then say, "Okay, now go and fix that problem." And then immediately next minute, Swamiji says, "The blessings or whatever you asked will happen." So one hand he's attending to this accommodation issues of one person. It's not an issue. It's actually fulfilling that being. And at the same time, in the Kalpataru Darshan, he's awakening third eye. And I remember, like, literally every day, 50,000 people used to come and take Swamiji's darshan in a way that people used to grab Swamiji's thumb and put it on their forehead, because everybody saw all the Balasans doing this phenomenal blindfold reading, and they want their third eye to be awakened so desperately. So literally, people would be grabbing Swamiji's thumb and put it on their head and thank Swamiji and go. It was so phenomenal response from people, and see, this is from the people's side, but from Swamiji's side, whole day sitting through the night, 50,000 people initiating, where people are just pulling your hand and getting initiated, and at the same time holding the larger vision for how Sanatana Hindu Dharma should advance from where it is right now, and attending to all the disciples, grooming each person, grooming the next Hindu leaders for tomorrow, and initiating all the people into 70 extraordinary powers. I think that's one of the first programs where people were initiated into mass power manifestation sessions. It's something phenomenal to think about how Swamiji organized this whole event. It is just amazing.
I can never forget the deities, and the place. And I also remember that during the storm, even the main tent and the temple were the sanctuaries for everybody. Actually,
Yes.
it's a place where we were all kept safe. And imagine being able to sleep in the presence of the deities, right? Swamiji has made that happen for everybody. So it was a very, very beautiful experience and very powerful. And like you're saying, even the Bandara, how Swamiji is, he takes care of all the akhadas, and every sadhu, every monk who came never went back empty-handed. They were given so much of respect, so much was provided to them. It is just phenomenal to see how Swamiji does all that. And like you very well pointed out, the micromanaging, both from being the guru for an individual to being the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, that's beautifully put.
It's like you are seeing such a huge an expanse of what Swamiji is. And this is also just a glimpse that we are even able to understand. But you get to see how he handles or how he manifests so much. And only you really get to experience that as saying, look, he is the avatar, he is the guru of gurus, he's the Jagat Guru, that it is not, humanly possible for anybody else. And you get to experience that truly. And the way the Akhada, the Mahants and others who had come would be gracing our camp, how Swamiji would receive them, how we made sure that when the Bandara was happening, we were all serving. He in fact invited all the, the temple heads and all to come and serve to all the, the monks and everybody.
Yes, I would like to just add, when you pointed out about Bandara. So Bandara is actually a feast that we invite other akhadas to come and visit our camp, and the entire monks of that akhada, they'll have this feast in our place. So it's a very, very special event. It is a proud moment for all of us to host people, basically. So please understand, we are a 5,000 member 5,000 people in our camp, and most of us have not seen Kumbh Mela ever in our life. So we don't know what is Kumbh Mela. And more than 60% of people are from different parts of the world. So they have not experienced Hinduism at all. And Swamiji trained this whole group in serving the sadhus, right? So people coming from West, probably we don't even bend so low to serve food. So it's like literally teaching the etiquette of Hinduism, how people eat and what should be served first, what should be served next, and what is the context you hold when you serve. Every single thing Swamiji trained the whole group. And it was not like, okay, today people are going to come and serve. No, the previous day, he spent hours in actually planning the whole event. Okay, how we are going to do it, who is going to carry which buckets, and how many people are going to sit in each row, how many side dishes we want. So literally to that detail, Swamiji micromanaged and ensured that everybody is confident of what we are doing. And the next day, we are seeing, okay, there is a sound that's blown, the conch is blown. As soon as the conch blows, literally like 2,000 people are just rushing into the into the whole camp, and within 5 minutes all of them are completely settled. I mean, I've never seen something like that before. So and actually I realized that Swamiji had prepared it so beautifully. I mean, it cannot be explained, it has to be prepared. So Swamiji prepared all of us into that, and just the thought of, okay, how are we going to feed so many people seamlessly, that was so mind-boggling at that time. And all of us just executed how Swamiji trained us. And at the end of the day, right, when the whole Bandara finished, it left with such immense fulfillment. Really no words to say. Seeing so many sadhus having the food and having to, I remember Dr. Peter Bloomfield had to memorize some of the side dishes. So I guess there were several people who had to memorize so many side dishes. Everybody was participating, and in this way, Swamiji beautifully taught us the Charya Pada of Hinduism, right? So it is not just learning etiquette and learning these dishes. It's about the Charya Pada of Hinduism and how Swamiji is inspiring it in a systematic way. And at the same time, we don't even know what we have learned at the end of the day. There's so much of information, so much of knowledge is already transmitted in us. So that's one of the most powerful experiences, I would say, being in Kailasa, being able to serve in Bandara.
It's a very humbling experience, Ma. It's you get to, serving of annam or food is, you're fulfilling one of the basic, the needs for people. It is so immensely fulfilling, and so much of gratitude, flows in that space. And especially to be able to serve sannyasis who have renounced and who are blessing the world, and that too, so many thousands of them. It was just unbelievable. I can only think of how much punya, Swamiji made sure every one of us got in the process. Like you very well shared, the Charya Pada aspect, right? It's not just about sitting and listening and getting, a textual understanding of things, but rather you get to be part of it and you experience it. You are jumping into the fray, right? And it's such a phenomenal experience to get that truly nails in, locks in the lifestyle aspect in you.
Beautiful.
So very beautiful.
So thank you so much, Ma Muktika. It was very, very nice sharing, and we will have you back in the show shortly. And before that, we're going to see one more beautiful clip where how the whole Kumbh Mela celebrated after Swamiji assumed responsibility of Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvanekana. Let's take a look at it.
Nityananda, Hara Shiva Shiva Murahara Damar Bhaje. Nityananda, Hara Shiva Shiva Murahara Damar Bhaje. Jaya Jagadodharana, Jaya Nitya Jagadishwara Harana.
Shri Nitya Jaya Nitya Hara Nitya Hara Paramahamsa Shri
Shiva Shiva Murahara Damar Bhaje. Nityananda, Hara Shiva Shiva Murahara Damar Bhaje. Jaya Jagadodharana, Jaya Nitya Jagadishwara Harana. Jaya Nitya Jagadishwara Harana.
Shri Nitya Jaya Nitya Hara Nitya Hara Paramahamsa Shri
Nityananda, Hara Shiva Shiva Murahara Damar Bhaje.
Darshan Nitya Dijo Bhagavan Nitya Paramadayalo Bhagavan Shri Nityananda. Darshan Nitya Dijo Bhagavan Nitya Paramadayalo Bhagavan Shri Nityananda.
Hara Bolo Nata Shiva Shambho Nityananda. Hara Bolo Nata Shiva Shambho Nityananda. Shiva Shiva Hara 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 Shiva Shiva Nitya Pureshwara Hara Parameshwara Jai Gurunatha Sri Gurunatha Nityananda. Shiva Shiva Hara 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 Shiva Shiva Nitya Pureshwara Hara Parameshwara Jai Gurunatha Sri Gurunatha Nityananda.
Yes, I'm sure all of the viewers and participants are entirely enjoying this session. And this is a moment where all of us can understand the vastness that Hinduism has got to contribute and how Swamiji is reviving every single aspect of it, every single part of it. And always, there is so much to learn from Swamiji and his life and how he has revived the entire Kailasa. And one of the things that Swamiji is passionate for all the 30 years of his public life is Annadan. Annadan is something so passionate for Swamiji, and because of Swamiji's continuous effort, today more than 1 billion meals are served around the world by Kailasa. And in Kumbh Mela, Swamiji had envisioned to serve 1 lakh people per day. And he was instrumental and guiding force of the entire workforce in right from choosing the menu, right from choosing the construction of the kitchen and how it has to be served. In every detail, Swamiji was involved in this whole thing. So we have a personal person who has been part of this entire exercise, Ma Shivapriya from Baroda in India, and who's here to share with us her experiences of being personally trained by Swamiji in running this mega kitchen that can serve 100,000 people every day for more than 45 days.
So Nithyanandam, everybody. Yes. After listening to beautiful experiences from Atmadaya and Ma Muktika, the way meticulously the chaotic cosmos had complete order, the same way how the beautiful temple exhibiting the ultimate Hinduism, I will truly appreciate the way Swamiji took care of the kitchen from scratch. The layout of the kitchen, where it has to be as per Vastu Shastra, to each and every menu, what will be cooked for breakfast, lunch and dinner was absolutely decided by him. For the whole week, then we had to repeat it, but not stopping there. He wanted Bhag Shastra recipes to be incorporated completely into the menu. It does not stop here. He went a step forward, to the extent the calculation of the recipe was also to be followed as per Bhag Shastra. So if something was in Bhag Shastra mentioned that certain, there was nothing like grams in Bhag Shastra. There was always comparison to some stone or some equivalent thing. So we had to take that stuff and put it in the weighing scale, then compare it in grams and bring it ahead. So it was quite a task, but he wanted it executed to the T. He was so involved in this whole kitchen experience. He wanted abundant food to be flowing constantly to people. Every day, 1 lakh people were fed for more than 45 days. For more than 45 days. It was almost for almost 2 months that we were feeding more than 1 lakh of people. Besides this, he paid a lot of attention to getting the system into place where we could run the kitchen 24/7 with utensils and equipments, which would aid us to keep on cooking non-stop. So literally there were times where we have given food out, every new fresh food out into the public place. For every 3 hours, we would have food constantly being filled up, which was fresh. We did not know the concept of what is stale food. The food used to be so fresh. Swamiji wanted everything perfect, to the extent that he had extended his kitchen facilities to serve 21 items every meal 3 times a day. And every menu would be different. So imagine the kind of detailing that he had gone through with us to the extent that even when he would give us the approval to buy a pan, suppose he told us to buy a huge pan which is electric and which is going to cook only 15 kilo. If we would say that this pan will cook only 15 kg of vegetable, or if this will cook only 12 kg of vegetable, he would precisely say, if the person is saying 15 kilos, then you consider it as 12 kilos and more. He would be so perfect with his calculations that exactly that was happening. Also, the way he wanted that everybody should be completely fulfilled when they leave the campus. He took care that even the Tirupati kind of laddus that we made, they were so big that you needed 2 hands to fill it up, right? And we were making it. And I remember to get the size approved for the laddus, it took us practically 3 days because he was never happy with the size. We started with the one small, which was coming between the 2 hands, to the extent that we had to leave the hands open and the whole laddu would be sitting there. So he had to spend so much of his time even teaching us how to cook the exact size he wanted. Also, another beautiful part of this kitchen was that when 50,000, not only 50, I've seen days when there were even 75,000 people. And our estimate of giving, of how he will be giving the prasadam crossed our comprehension. There were times that night, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, I will be going into the market to buy the whole shop out. And the truck would be following us onto the campus, while in between the crowd, we would take the truck right to the backstage and supply the prasadam. And so beautifully, this whole truckload of prasadam he would give to each and every person by himself, individually, holding each fruit and giving it to each person. It was not that we devotees were distributing the prasadam. It was he himself, truckloads, and this was the load after the laddus were over, and laddus were being made in hundreds of kilos. After this prasadam would come. So imagine the kind of effort he had put throughout, and every day he was giving this darshan. Besides this, the way we used to shop vegetables, it used to be in the figure of somewhere close to 450 to 500 kg per day. Maybe even more I have bought. So the most important thing was that he exactly knew how many things would be existing in the kitchen randomly when he would walk through the kitchen. Every day morning, before he would go to the satsang hall, he would take a round of the kitchen. He would see that everything is running perfectly all right. At times, we have seen him talking to the cooks also, as well as he would see to it that we all are settled and the show is running beautifully. Also in the evening at around 4:35, he would take one more round of the kitchen and assure us that everything is going to be fine. We would only be standing there. Actually, for these 2 months, when we have run the kitchen, everything was taken care by him himself. It was just that we were present there and we enjoyed the show that was happening. We did work, but the whole show was literally managed by him end to end. And it was, I tell you, from running a kitchen of just 5 people in the house to running a kitchen suddenly of 1 lakh people was an experience by itself. And it was too awesome an experience that we had of running this kitchen. At times it was overwhelming, but it was so beautiful that every situation we could see Swamiji's presence there, and he managed everything. Yes, especially during the hurricane. As Ma Muktika said, that our campus was the only one saved, intact. We did not have physically damage, or the shades were not broken down, nothing. And especially when the kitchen was concerned, we lost, I think in the evening, the hurricane started at something like 3:34. And we were preparing tea at that time. We had a team of 17 cooks running in 3 shifts. So imagine the kind of automation he had created, or he had envisioned that we should be having, that with 17 cooks running in 3 shifts, we could manage the whole kitchen for 1 lakh people. And also,
Shivapriya,
yes, ma'am.
I remember that so well, okay, because we had this storm coming. I remember being inside.
Yes.
Of course, this temporary structure that was created. One side was Swamiji on stage. The other side, I looked, the hall was getting empty. I looked up and the structure was obviously, because the storm, it's a very real storm coming at us. And, the whole structure was shaking. So for a moment, I was thinking, wow, what's going on? Ran out because I was like, okay, nobody's here. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. I've got to figure this out. Walked out. One side, I saw these, in the kitchen side, actually, these metal sheets were flying off. And I was like, okay, that's not the way to go. I'm going to go the other side. And I went the other side. Anyway, after all of this happened, and Swamiji diverted the storm to a safer, literally diverted the storm. He went into the storm, diverted it away. Nobody was hurt. And after everything settled, we were having tea and snacks.
Yes.
Like, we were just, the kitchen never stopped, whether it was flood or
we
storm.
were making tea, yes. And we were going through the hurricane, and suddenly lights went. But fortunately, I don't know how, but we had the candles to run the whole show. From somewhere where we got the candles today, I don't even remember that, but I know we had lots of candles running in the kitchen, and the kitchen kept on working. It is hurricane, okay. Then once I think I went out to see what Swamiji was doing, I saw him walking through the storm, and he was indicating the clouds to move out. And oh my God, that was a sight worth seeing, how the clouds were obeying him. Nothing went wrong. To the surprise of everybody, at 7 o'clock, we had the dinner served in complete darkness. We did not have light on the campus, but definitely the dinner was not delayed. So that was such a beautiful experience that, yes. And another beautiful thing that happened was that Swamiji had taken care to put the whole store was on wooden platform. That was just 8-inch high, but that 8-inch height never got destroyed, and not a single grain got wet. It was the only area, I think it was completely dry, without a drop of water in the whole of the campus. Even the kitchen had water at places. Then we had to go for flooring and everything. But to the surprise, the store was not touched. It was completely untouched during the hurricane. So many surprises that we have seen. It's amazing that how a guru, how a master can just change everything in your life and your surrounding, physically, mentally.
Absolutely. It was on that side. The storm was actually on the kitchen side. Yes. And to my, it's like there's not even a beat missed. There wasn't a single meal missed. The first few days, when the program started, we had a flood, right?
Yes.
So the heavens opened up the moment Swamiji said, okay, the program starts, the heavens opened up. There was a rush of, rain water coming down on the ground. I could this in slow motion. I'm seeing water flooding through And then Swamiji sitting on stage and we were working out, we're like, what is going on? By the time we could even figure it out, the whole place had flooded. And Swamiji had said, everybody in the kitchen could have said, the team lead could have said that, okay, now half our roof is missing, so we can't cook, or this part is flooded, we can't cook. Or it could have very easily, in the outside world, this is a very valid reason why something should stop, right? I mean, here in England, when we have a bit of extra snow, or if we have extreme weather, even a little bit, the trains stop because and there's delays of all sorts of things. But there, not even the tea was missed. It was on time, and snacks. Bizarre. We've just been through this. Literally, I'm facing. What am I facing here with this storm? And the next thing, it's like, okay, tea's ready.
And
Yes.
and still furthermore, he took care while the Shahi Snans, as Mahatma Daya was explaining, that we all were out on the Shahi Snan day, and we, the team people, we used to load the truck, not truck, but trucks with food and sharbat for people to drink during the walk. And literally, we had packed meals in bags, fresh snacks also, which were being served. And there were times that he had told us to serve it even to the public standing around. Literally, we used to give calls that, okay, we need one more truck, let's get more supply. And we would be serving it to the crowd also and our Sangha. But he would just open up his whole arms and serve everybody, especially where Annadhanam was concerned. He exhibited ultimate abundance with people. And the satisfaction and the kind of talk they had for the kind of food that was being served was so amazing in the town that I remember once I had taken somebody to the doctor, and there also I heard that the food at this campus is so tasty that I was so pleased that Swamiji's grace is so much there that everything worked out perfectly. Every dimension he took care, so perfect. To the extent I tell you that randomly he would come with the figure from his quarters that this is the kind of oil that we are having. We need to order more of oil. We would wonder, where is this coming from? He is in his quarters. How would he know how much of oil we are having? But he knew every bit of things happening in the kitchen. So he's Bhagwan, and Bhagwan can do anything. That is my experience. Especially when you live there, when you see every moment. At times till 11:30, everybody's sitting in the satsang and no food is cooked. And suddenly the realization comes that it is 11:30 and 1 o'clock. We are supposed to serve food. And the satsang is going on. Oh, you are just 5 of you in the kitchen preparing the whole lunch. How will it happen? But all the machines go on and things used to happen. I tell you, it was a dreamland that we have lived for 2 months. It was a complete dreamland. And this can happen only where God exists. Where Bhagwan is there, everything is possible.
Wow.
Yes.
That's really so beautifully put, Ma. And much more bigger things, much more advancement is what is happening today. And Swamiji has established the Kailasa as a First Nation for all the Hindus out there, and bringing the legitimacy in every field of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, whether it is education, whether it is religion, or whether it is spiritual sciences. In every little field where Hinduism can contribute, Swamiji is building this legitimacy. And today's segment is about Kumbh Mela, where it's nothing but the congregation of all the sampradayas and traditions, how Swamiji was beautifully able to inspire the entire humanity into this in all levels, in all the 4 padas, whether it is spiritual jnana pada, meaning 70 spiritual powers, all of us were initiated, and we had yoga and charya lifestyle, how so many aspects of Hinduism Swamiji was able to simply impart into the whole humanity with lot of pleasant and unforgettable memories. It's been few years now, but still, as we all talk, we just feel that we are already there, living that moment with Swamiji. So that is the whole beauty of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and how Swamiji is beautifully reviving. And would like to ask all of you your thoughts, why everybody should be part of this movement, which is literally empowering the whole humanity into this way. Why everybody should be part of this movement, and what is Sarvanya Pita? How is Sarvanya Pita going to contribute towards this movement?
Your goal in life, or do you want to even have the clarity, what is your goal in life and what you need to do to help others? To have that clarity, to have that understanding, it is so vital to be part of this movement, to be part of the Sarvagnya Pitam. Sarvagnya Pitam means it's something that's all encompassing, and it symbolizes the seat of learning. It symbolizes the seat of enlightenment. And to bring that to every person, every human being is what, Swamiji and Kailasa are doing. It has become, or rather, it is an integral component of our lives to be part of such an amazing mission. And to what it brings to people, the science of enlightenment, the science of happiness, the science of liberation, that ultimately becomes your goal. And that journey you go through, there is no second to it. And this happens only when, as step by step, you understand, you internalize what the truths are, how you are experiencing them, and how you understand the role of an avatar, how you understand the role of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, the spiritual ecosystem, what it does for you and yours and everybody else. That is too priceless. It goes beyond, we go through a life of attachments, desires, wanting this, wanting that, struggling through it. There are so many struggles that we go through because with the misconceptions, or you're working through something, but you don't have the basic clarity and the cognition that helps you understand how to manifest. The spiritual ecosystem that is being, established by Kailasa, by Swamiji through Kailasa, is that which is nurturing, it is empowering, and it is guaranteed to help you manifest your ultimate. If there is any other way to say it, I don't know how to put it, but it is simply the one priority that we can have in life, which covers every priority of our life. Whatever you wish to manifest, you will actually experience it coming true. You will actually experience it happening in the most powerful way. And I would say Kailasa is the solution, that Swamiji has given to this entire world for the ultimate life to lead, the ultimate lifestyle to experience and be a part of. So that's what I would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Kumbh Mela is one of the largest congregation, largest festival in the world. And how Swamiji is able to bring this festival to its original authenticity. Like this, there are so many different elements, so many different components of Hinduism Swamiji has revived in the last 30 years. And there is many more things to revive is on the plate. When Kailasa is going to be open for the whole of the humanity, it's going to be a huge positive explosion that we are all going to experience. Now is the moment where everybody can decide to be part of it. Even if you have made an intention before, today you can redo an intention, redeclare an intention, saying, yes, now I really want to be part of it and I need Swamiji's blessings. So I request everybody to sign up in sksjp.org/contribute and show your intention. Take the step today and show your intention, how you would like to be part of Sarvanya Pita. And when Swamiji is making the whole Kailasa happen, and then this year the whole Kailasa is going to be open for the whole of humanity, we are all going to get back to the celebrations, more programs, more and more excitement with Swamiji. So to make this happen, we want all of you to be part of this movement. So also would like to hear from Markandeya and Shivapriya. How are you seeing this as a very important step that each and every person has to take individually in their lives to be part of Kailasa and to be part of Sarangapita?
See, actually, when Muktika was sharing, for me, it's very simple. I'm going to exist regardless because of course, I've taken birth. Each one of us have taken birth, so we're going to exist. Now, just because we've been talking about Kumbh Mela, I can share with you that for me, it was being part of actual ecosystem that Swamiji is reviving. So it was a live experience of that ecosystem, because we have the temple, we had power manifestation, we had initiations from Swamiji, we had Guru himself living with the Guru. So we were all living. I guess it was a child and adult Gurukul in some ways. So we were learning, we're having powerful cognitions, sessions with Swamiji, satsangs, and then there's food, organic, sattvic food provided. So the whole ecosystem Swamiji made available. Now, existing in that ecosystem, learning the powerful cognitions, and then like having flood and storm happen, which is natural things that happen, and they easily would have put any one of us into powerlessness. And for a moment I was, when there were certain things happening. However, how quickly in that ecosystem one can shift into powerfulness. So that was, it's a live experience. And then you have the ecosystem which is outside of Kailasa, which one can hear about the powerful cognitions, one can attempt to implement it, but the environment itself doesn't support implementation of those powerful cognitions straight away. So if I had to say it in a very simple way, I would say that we are going to exist regardless because we've taken birth. Now it's up to us to choose for ourselves consciously a ecosystem that is going to build us powerfully inside out, not just in society where we get to show that we are powerful and inside experience powerlessness and not have the support network which can bring us out of that space quickly when we ever get into that space. But a really, like I was sharing with my Shivapriya, we had the storm coming. Swamiji goes out there, moves the storm. Everything that needs to be fixed is fixed within a couple of hours. We're sipping a cup of tea and talking about the weather, it's like, shifting from utter powerlessness where you feel like you're just about to face death, and the next thing, everything is completed very quickly. In an outside world, that it wouldn't happen that quickly. There'll be years and maybe months and weeks and whatever amount of time in powerlessness and all that kind of stuff. So in a nutshell, this ecosystem, it's a must, because it experientially gives us the opportunity to live in powerfulness no matter what. I'm not praying. Swamiji's taught me not to pray to God to have the problems taken away, but to have the courage to face whatever comes. So in a nutshell, I would say this is the difference, between living in an ecosystem that's going to build you powerfully versus living in an ecosystem that is going to exploit your powerlessness and keep you there.
Not only
If I might add, sorry, Mashupriya, before you start, I just wanted to add one thing that really struck a chord with what Mahatmadev was saying. See, we grow up in our normal, in the world, driven by fear, right? If you don't do this, then you will not have this. If this doesn't happen, then you're going to face the consequence of it. So you're always doing something out of fear that you will not have, that nothing is enough, or life is not going to be the best you can probably have. But what in Kumbh Mela is, whatever the eventuality, whatever the like the storm that happened, the hurricane that happened, I mean, it was we could see like a natural disaster, going around, but to be able to go through that and focus on what needs to be manifested, protecting people, supporting everybody, ensuring the lives of the support systems are functioning. The focus is so much on the happening. The focus is so much on what needs to be, continued, that you actually melt away any form of fear or this stress or anxiety, saying, oh my God, how are we going to handle it? It gives you a very different perspective of living your daily life. It tells you that you can focus your energies to making the best out of everything. And that is what the spiritually, high ecosystem is. It's that level of nurturing. And this is what Swamiji is bringing to all of us. It is an essential component, just like breathing, for all of us. That's what I would say.
Definitely, I will support completely whatever Muktika is saying. And the biggest change that I'm seeing, supporting this ecosystem and you experiencing this ecosystem is the most important thing. Now, I will give to you an outside world experience. Is I first work the way I want to work. I am not consistently, I am more on projects. Like if I was doing this project of Annadanam, I was working in the kitchen. Once I come back, I may not go back to the kitchen for a long time, to the extent that even my house kitchen, I don't manage at times. But when I'm in the office, what I see is if I'm executing something, suppose we are executing a new ERP system in the office. Now, when I'm managing to see that the 200 people, I'm first seeing the human resistance for a change that is happening, which I can see today. This is because of Swamiji, that you are able to see what people are going through. Now, how do you break it? There is no namaskar without chamatkar. So literally with third eye, when you catch them doing the wrong things and trying to break through the system, they feel this lady who does not sit every day in the office and who does not know what is civil engineering, how will she execute the system? That is the time when you show them that these are the qualities which are with me because of this person, because of Swamiji. And I'm telling you, this is the point where you will see the inner awakening, the third eye awakening literally living through you. This is the point where you can enter any department and you can just barge through things only not because you are having the knowledge, but because you are equipped with third eye awakening. When you are an SJP, your commitment level changes to support this ecosystem. When you are an SJP, your whole view, why you want this ecosystem to expand, changes. And you will be able to exhibit it to the extent where people literally feel, wow, what is this happening? To the extent where you can show them that this mistake that you have done is not a sin or it's not a crime, but the mistake done and to find the mistake and to correct this is most important. Especially when you are not from their department, and if you can show these flaws and you can show, and I very clearly say this is happening because the person who runs this company has very clearly said that don't think you are working for the Tulis or the owners of this company. This is my company. This is the kind of care that he takes for us. This is the commitment that he has given to us. That is why it is so important to support this ecosystem. That is why it is so important that you be the SJP to experience a lifestyle which is completely different. This is, and it is to be experienced. It will not come in words. It will not come. It is an experience to be an SJP. It is not a sudden change that you will suddenly get a lot of money or suddenly you will experience a lot of luxury. These are part and parcel. This will come your way. But the most important thing is you will be able to command your life and the surrounding beautifully in a much better way, beyond your comprehension, without you knowing that you are going to have the breakthrough. It will just happen. The paths will just open. Not that if you are not an SJP, it will not happen. It will definitely happen if you are a devotee of Swami Paramahamsa Nityananda. But it will happen to the dimensions, and you are supporting the whole system when you are an SJP. You are on a different plane when you are on an SJP level. You are holding and wanting to hold the Hindu Dharma to a next level. That is why you have to be the SJP, because the command in your language when you are speaking for Hinduism will be totally different when you are an SJP. You have stood up for Hinduism. That is why you have to stand up for SJP. This is my only request. Come, be a part of SJP and experience what it is to be an SJP. So with this, I will end here from my end. Yes, Ma Pranapriya, you can continue now.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. And like you beautifully shared, right, the clarity and the confidence and the purpose, higher vision for life, simply you'll start manifesting moment you say yes to the Sarvanya Pita. So I'm sure many of us have been thinking about it, and you don't know what are the next step, how to go about it. The intention is there, but I don't know how I'm going to manifest it. First thing is sign up and start your journey today. Take a small step, and everything starts with you saying yes to it. Actually, and in this panel already, a couple of them are SJPs, and many people. If you go and connect to each person, they would have amazing stories. Just as their journey of SJP itself is a beautiful thing to learn about. Like, it's not like it happened in a day or anything, but rather how Swamiji works on each being to mold that being and then empower the being to become an SJP. It's a journey by itself. It's a spiritual journey by itself. So I invite all the participants and viewers to take a few minutes to start this journey. Only when you start this journey, you will see the immense support system that you have, the way Swamiji holds your being. Every single Sarvanya Pita Yajaman always says this. They just feel the intense presence of Swamiji. Whenever they want, he's just there. So this amount of strength that you can radiate is something phenomenal, which everybody has to manifest it. So I request everybody to sign up and take a step towards it. And this step that you're taking today will definitely be rewarding, and you're going to be part of the history, reminding all the participants about what Swamiji shared in Jayanti. Being the founding fathers of Kailasa is something which nobody can miss. It will make you to realize the Janma Sabalya, meaning you will achieve the purpose of your life.
Actually, if I might add, Ma Pranapriya, being an manifester of realities for yourself and supporting that of others makes us go a long way compared to passively sitting back and wondering if somebody else can, help. If the cognition is there saying, I take it in my hands to help manifest, that actually, takes us forward, because that's the same attitude we apply to everything in life. This is an opportunity for each and every one of us to take an active stance and to make things happen. To be guided by an avatar, to be guided by Swamiji is no small task. And he is here to support our, empowerment and support us through the journey to enlightenment. And it starts with our yes. It starts with us saying, what can I do to help? Where can I get started? The moment you have the cognition, just know that what needs to come your way, the cosmos is already sending your way. All you need to do is put yourself and allow the manifestation to happen. That's how beautiful the journey is, and that is how empowering it is to understand what is needed for this world. We are at a juncture in the world where we need every one of us to stand up and take an active stance. And this is our opportunity to do that. Supporting Kailasa and being there, is the most beautiful thing I think is going to happen for us this year.
I feel we are not only supporting Kailasa. Ma, when we are contributing, we are supporting ourselves first. Because
True.
first thing is we are getting out of the limited cognition that we can only do this much. The figures that are put, we feel are far beyond our reach. But the moment you start the journey, first thing will happen is the limited cognition drops. You have a new goal to achieve. And I tell you, you are actually not achieving the goal. The goal is happening on its own once the journey starts. Because see, if you think you can manifest that money, please be rest assured, this is Bhagwan's gift that he is passing it through you and you are feeling you are giving it to him or to Mahakailasha. You think Bhagwan cannot manifest? If I call him a Bhagwan, he can manifest all that he wants. He does not need us to manifest anything. Please be very clear. It is just that he is allowing you to be the instrument to give the funds through your hands, to give you the opportunity to be the part and party of this Mahakailasha, to support and get your enlightenment. This is a mission only for you to be enlightened. He does not want to prove he is Paramhamsa Nityananda. Here he is to prove that we all are Paramhamsa Nityananda. So most important is, please be very clear, it is not that you can fund Kailasha or Mahakailasha. It is that you are given an opportunity to break your limited cognitions, to jump into this higher cognition. And imagine if you can create this well, or you feel you can create this well, imagine you can break so many other cognitions which are limited, because everything in our material life is related to wealth. So I feel this is a chance that he is giving us, that we should break our limited cognition and take the leap to be the SJP, this grand celebration of this earth.
It's a collective infrastructure, right? Because in society, this wherever we are, wherever people gather, there is an infrastructure, right? So there is a way, like a food lifestyle, clothing lifestyle, etc. Anywhere we go, even outside, where outside of Kailasa, there is infrastructure, whether it's public transport, whatever that infrastructure is. That infrastructure does not support the potential, the highest potential of humanity. Whereas Swamiji has given us the vision, the complete structure, the infrastructure that we can build collectively, not just for ourselves, but the future generations as well.
Yes.
Right? So the quality of life that we live, where we are empowered rather than exploited and kept in powerlessness. So we are anyways contributing towards the societal infrastructure, because we pay taxes, we pay to, the clothing that we buy, we pay towards that, we pay towards the public transport, whatever. So the infrastructure that is already built, the roads, etc., right? So when you drive, you have to pay for road tax. Even if you have a television at home, you have to pay for that, etc., etc. So for everything, there is payment, and that payment is building that infrastructure, which is going to keep not only us, but also all of the future generation in powerlessness. It does not have the intellect or intelligence to shift. So this infrastructure that Swamiji has given us the vision for, it is time for us to actually start working and contributing towards that. So that is built collectively, because it's for all of us together. So that's one thing I wanted to add, because the quality of living, the number of years that we're going to live on planet Earth, the quality of that living where we're really alive is much, much more higher than, the kind of, that kind of coma state that we normally, the deluded state that we are normally kept in because of the food we eat, because of the other content that we consume outside of Kailasa, that keeps us in that mediocre and less than mediocre life. Whereas the quality of living is far greater in the infrastructure that Swamiji has given us as a vision.
Also, I would like to say, we all have read stories of inspiring stories of people who have made wealth, like the rich dad, poor dad, and the Reliance story of how from a cycle he was selling clothes to he has become a multi-billionaire tycoon. But these stories are personalized and we feel we should get inspired. But when Swamiji is giving us a much, much, much higher goal of inspiring, of creating a country which is going to go ahead for generations together, that goal we do not want. And again, he is making all of us into a state of reliance, that from a cycle, he wants us all to become billionaires so that we can contribute for this country. He wants to break our limited cognitions. And this, I'm still telling you, SJP, to be an SJP is only your personal growth. That is my experience. And I promise you that when he holds your hand, the moment you take the decision to be an SJP, you will not be manifesting that. Wealth will get manifested through you. He makes you the reliance, everybody the reliance, but not to buy the huge gold cars and huge houses, but to build the Mahakailasa for the generations to come, where the ecosystem for Hinduism is going to be alive, where you, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you live will be exhibited in our coming generations also, where they will be proud to wear the Rudraksh, where they will be proud to put on the Kumkum without feeling ashamed that they are Hindus. So if you want the future generations to live this ecosystem, we all have to stand up just with a commitment that yes, we will be the SJPs.
Yes, so that was so beautifully shared by all of you, and thank you so much for joining the segment today. It was, definitely brought back so many wonderful memories and all the moments of wonders with Swamiji. I personally really thoroughly enjoyed all your sharings, and thank you so much for being here today. And to all the viewers and participants, once again, I'd like to reiterate that this is a lifetime opportunity for all of us to be part of the mission when Paramashivam himself has descended. And he's creating this grand narrative for the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and it is happening now. Right now, it's happening. It is the best thing that we can do to ourselves and the planet Earth by being part of Sarvapita. So you can sign up yourself in sphorg.org/contribute. And next, we will be having the preparation into the Darshan of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Swamiji, manifesting as Kalabhairava Murti. So let us get ready and
understand, literally last 39 years from the age of 5, whatever Paramashiva manifested through teaching, speaking, writing, every way, condensing the whole thing and presenting it to you all as experientially. In these 21 days, through this Jnana Charya, Jnana Kriya, Jnana Yoga, Jnana Jnana is Mahaparamashivoham. Lifestyle for just Paramashiva. Rituals to be just Paramashiva. Yoga for just being Paramashiva. Jnana just Paramashiva. This Mahaparamashivoham is like literally the ultimate journey in a most safest way. Understand, literally last 39 years from the age of 5, whatever Paramashiva manifested through teaching, speaking, writing, every way, condensing the whole thing and presenting it to you all as experientially in these 21 days through this Jnana Charya, Jnana Kriya, Jnana Yoga, Jnana Jnana is Mahaparamashivoham. Lifestyle for just Paramashiva. Rituals to be just Paramashiva. Yoga for just being Paramashiva. Jnana just Paramashiva. This Mahaparamashivoham is like literally the ultimate journey in a most safest way. Understand, literally last 39 years from the age of 5, whatever Paramashiva manifested through teaching, speaking, writing, every way, condensing the whole thing and presenting it to you all as experientially in these 21 days through this Jnana Charya, Jnana Kriya, Jnana Yoga, Jnana Jnana is Mahaparamashivoham. Lifestyle for just Paramashiva. Rituals to be just Paramashiva. Yoga for just being Paramashiva. Jnana just Paramashiva. This Mahaparamashivoham is like literally the ultimate journey in a most safest way. Understand, literally last 39 years from the age of 5, whatever Paramashiva manifested through teaching, speaking, writing, every way, condensing the whole thing and presenting it to you all as experientially in these 21 days through this Jnana Charya, Jnana Kriya, Jnana Yoga, Jnana Jnana is Mahaparamashivoham. Lifestyle for just Paramashiva. Rituals to be just Paramashiva. Yoga for just being Paramashiva. Jnana, just Paramashiva. This Mahaparamashivoham is like literally the ultimate journey in a most safest way. Understand, literally last 39 years from the age of 5, whatever Paramashiva manifested through teaching, speaking, writing, every way, condensing the whole thing and presenting it to you all as experientially in these 21 days through this Jnana Charya, Jnana Kriya, Jnana Yoga, Jnana Jnana is Mahaparamashivoham. Lifestyle for just Paramashiva. Rituals to be just Paramashiva. Yoga for just being Paramashiva. Jnana, just Paramashiva. This Mahaparamashivoham is like literally the ultimate journey in a most safest way. Understand? Literally last 39 years from the age of 5, whatever Paramashiva manifested through teaching, speaking, writing, every way, condensing the whole thing and presenting it to you all as experientially in these 21 days through this Jnana Charya, Jnana Kriya, Jnana Yoga, Jnana Jnana is Mahaparamashivokam. Lifestyle for just Paramashiva. Rituals to be just Paramashiva. Yoga for just being Paramashiva. Jnana just Paramashiva. This Mahaparamashivokam is like literally the ultimate journey in a most safest way. Understand? Literally last 39 years from the age of 5, whatever Paramashiva manifested through teaching, speaking, writing, every way, condensing the whole thing and presenting it to you all as experientially in these 21 days through this Jnana. I have incorporated this Kailasa, nation without borders. Kailasa, nation without borders. In a way I can say whole universe is the Kailasa. Kailasa, nation without borders. I've incorporated in multiple countries. Each Kailasa will function in their own countries as per that country's law, within that country's law. Understand? The Kailasa is revived to do contribution, uniting the nations for contribution. Hinduism, Veda Agamas have great things to contribute to the world. Like the great power manifestation science, the ancient culture and arts, the ancient lifestyle truths, the ancient medical practices and medicinal knowledge, the ancient indigenous cultural heritage and jewelry, perfume, dance, music. In every level, Hinduism has so much to contribute. Veda, Agamic traditions have so much to contribute. To share all this with the world, to contribute to the world. Hindus need to tell the world what they are contributing in every level. The brand of Hinduism itself is enriching and empowering and enlightening. Hinduism is all about enlightening the world. Empowering, enlightening, enriching the world. Contributing. That is our spiritual life. That is our spiritual strength. That is our spiritual core principle. O humanity, I request you with folded hands, some one corner of the world, if you just give me few hundred acres, I will keep this whole science alive. Leave it for the whole humanity freely. Fortunately, Paramashiva has given me the power to decode all this Hindu medicinal system, Hindu judiciary system, Hindu social law and order system, Hindu power manifestation system, Hindu mental sciences system, Hindu yogic sciences, the sciences of Hindu biology, Hindu physics, Hindu psychology, Hindu physiology, Hindu chemistry, all this Paramashiva has given me the power to decode. Whatever the remaining scriptures are available with the humanity, Paramashiva has blessed me, and I have collected, not only I have collected and organized, I can decode. This whole science can be kept alive in any one corner of the world. Just few hundred acres are given for me to live peacefully and exist peacefully. I can store this whole thing alive and contribute it to humanity. Humanity can become better and better and better. I can make the planet Earth so much better place to live. I am here to contribute, and I will continue to contribute. As long as I am allowed to live, I will contribute. I have collected all the remaining available scriptures, maybe 2 crore books. 2 crore means 20 million, I think, books on Hindu physics, Hindu chemistry, Hindu biology, Hindu physiology, Hindu psychology, Hindu law and order, Hindu social system, the power manifestation sciences of Hinduism, yogic sciences of Hinduism. I have collected, and Paramashiva has given me the blessings and power to decode. I have decoded and continuing to decode them. If the humanity, somebody is kind enough to give me few hundred acres in one corner of the world and let me live peacefully, I can keep all the scriptures there and go on sharing with the world. revealing these whole sciences to the world, and go on contributing. I don't need anything other than one cup of curd rice every day. That's all. A cup of curd rice per day, over. I can go on be giving this to the world. I can add to the world. I can make the world a better place to live. That's all I have to say. Thousands of medicines are described detail in ancient Siddha and Ayurvedic scriptures. Paramashiva has given me the power to decode them, read them, and properly translate and map them to the modern day human language. And I am ready to work 20 hours a day. I just need few hundred acres where I can sit peacefully and keep this library, run a Gurukul where thousands of people can learn this and share it with the world. Understand? I am only interested in contributing. If we can decode all this great knowledge, whole world can prosper from this knowledge. Whole world can enjoy from this knowledge. If I prosper, I will only create a university. I will not create anything else. If the Hindus prosper, they will only create education institutions. Because Hinduism is all about giving, contributing. If I prosper, I'll create university, that's all. Kailasa is all about university to decode the ancient sciences and share with the world. Understand? Every day I am sitting and going on decoding, writing notes on my books and writing details on my books. Whether it is making human beings manifest powers, and I have also now started downloading and decoding the science of making animals manifest powers. Whether making people manifest powers or healing, in every level, life is all about contribution. Today is March 2nd. Worst assassination attempts I faced on this very day. Literally. March 2nd and 3rd, 4th, 5th. This 1 week. At least 10 times they tried on different years. very aggressively. There were small attacks, but some of the very aggressive, very planned attacks, locking me inside my room, ashram, tapovan, kutia, and putting the petrol bomb and burning. That kind of a sure shot methods they tried. By the grace of Paramashiva, protection of Mahabhairava, I am still alive. I am saved by the grace of Paramashiva and protection of Mahabhairava, Kalabhairava. Still, I am continued to be protected by the grace of Paramashiva and protection of Kalabhairava. You can see the photos and videos. It is not created even by us. It was done a live reality show by national news channels of India. They were proud about burning me live. They were not interested in legally dealing with me. First of all, I have not done anything wrong, anything illegal or immoral or antisocial. I have not done anything wrong in any level. They just want to eliminate me because I am working for the revival of power manifestation science and Hinduism. Spiritual enlightenment science stored in Hinduism. I never worked against any other religion. I never spoke against any religion. I just started working to revive Hinduism. That's all. I have faced so much aggression, terrorist attacks on me, assassination attempts, lawfare, hate speech, every level. Today I am here by the grace of Paramashiva with the protection of Kalabhairava to declare the victory of Parashakti, victory of Paramashiva, victory of Kalabhairava. By the grace of Paramashiva, with the protection of Kalabhairava, we won in this whole war imposed on us. Understand? I have not become violent because violence was forced on me. I have not decided to lose my goodness because of the bad people entering into my life. No. I said very clearly, I will continue to retain my goodness. I will only tell the whole world what all has been done to me and Sri Kailasa. Understand? This Kailasa, revival of enlightenment civilization, is not started 2 years before or 3 years before. It is hereditary, handed over to me by my gurus. I have started actively doing it. That is why I have been attacked. I have started actively doing it. I have started legally doing it. I have started doing it in a foolproof way. I have started telling the world the persecution Hindus are going through. I have started telling the world the non-violent tradition of Hindus. Because of non-violent tradition, how they are being tortured, killed, attacked. Hate speech is done against them, and they also withdrew from life and got into inactivism, helplessness, did not reach out to the world to tell the right narrative, the truths, facts. Even now, Hindus are being portrayed all over the world as terrorists, even after being attacked. They are attacked, but they are projected as terrorists. They are killed, but they are projected as aggressors. Because we did not tell the world, in the name of non-violence and tyaga, we became inactive. Ahimsa, non-violence, should be practiced actively, should be told to the world with the right narrative. How, even after being abused, attacked, hate speech, destroyed, killed, assassination attempts, still we continue to maintain non-violence and ahimsa because we believe in it. We live it. We be and live and believe. We are being, living and believing. Non-violence and ahimsa. We just missed actively enriching the world, reaching out to the world. Sri Kailasa is formed for this purpose of telling the great ideals, non-violence, ahimsa, tyaga, all the great human values lived, practiced, be, lived, believed, be, lived, believed by Hindus actively to the whole world. Hindus need only one thing: actively enriching. You should have worked on all the mass communication infrastructures and reached out to the world through entertainment industry, through the mass communication methodologies, to mass media methods, and to the United Nations, and to every human rights organization, and to the whole world, how non-violent we are, and why we believe in ahimsa, non-violence, all these great principles. Actively enriching, organized way enriching should have been done, which Hindus missed. Sri Kailasa is created, revived for that purpose. Sri Kailasa is age-old nation, age-old enlightened civilization. I am only reviving it. I am not creating it. I am reviving it. I have incorporated this Kailasa, nation without borders. Kailasa, nation without borders. In a way, I can say whole universe is the Kailasa. Kailasa nation without borders. I've incorporated in multiple countries. Each Kailasa will function in their own countries as per that country's law, within that country's law. Understand? The Kailasa is revived to do contribution, uniting the nations for contribution. Hinduism, Veda Agamas have great things to contribute to the world. Like the great power manifestation science, the ancient culture and arts, the ancient lifestyle truths, the ancient medical practices and medicinal knowledge, the ancient indigenous cultural heritage and jewelry, perfume, dance, music. In every level, Hinduism has so much to contribute. Veda Agamic traditions have so much to contribute. To share all this with the world, to contribute to the world. Hindus need to tell the world what they are contributing in every level. The brand of Hinduism itself is enriching and empowering and enlightening. Hinduism is all about enlightening the world. Empowering, enlightening, enriching the world. Contributing. That is our spiritual life. That is our spiritual strength. That is our spiritual core principle. O humanity, I request you with folded hands, some one corner of the world, if you just give me few hundred acres, I will keep this whole science alive. Leave it for the whole humanity freely. Fortunately, Paramashiva has given me the power to decode all this Hindu medicinal system, Hindu judiciary system, Hindu social law and order system, Hindu power manifestation system, Hindu mental sciences system, Hindu yogic sciences, the sciences of Hindu biology, Hindu physics, Hindu psychology, Hindu physiology, Hindu chemistry, all this Paramashiva has given me the power to decode. Whatever the remaining scriptures are available with the humanity, Paramashiva has blessed me, and I have collected, not only I have collected and organized, I can decode. This whole science can be kept alive in any one corner of the world. Just few hundred acres are given for me to live peacefully and exist. peacefully, I can store this whole thing alive and contribute it to humanity. Humanity can become better and better and better. I can make the planet Earth so much better place to live. I am here to contribute, and I will continue to contribute. As long as I am allowed to live, I will contribute. I have collected all the remaining available scriptures, maybe 2 crore books. 2 crore means 20 million, I think, books on Hindu physics, Hindu chemistry, Hindu biology, Hindu physiology, Hindu psychology, Hindu law and order, Hindu social system, the power manifestation sciences of Hinduism, yogic sciences of Hinduism. I have collected, and Paramashiva has given me the blessings and power to decode. I have decoded and continuing to decode them. If the humanity, somebody is kind enough to give me few hundred acres in one corner of the world and let me live peacefully, I can keep all these scriptures there and go on sharing with the world, revealing these whole sciences to the world, and go on contributing. I don't need anything other than 1 cup of curd rice every day, that's all. A cup of curd rice per day, over. I can go on be giving this to the world. I can add to the world. I can make the world better place to live. That's all I have to say. Thousands of medicines are described detail in ancient Siddha and Ayurvedic scriptures. Paramashiva has given me the power to decode them, read them, and properly translate and map them to the modern day human language. And I am ready to work 20 hours a day. I just need few hundred acres where I can sit peacefully and keep this library, run a Gurukul where thousands of people can learn this and share it with the world, understand. I am only interested in contributing. If we can decode all this great knowledge, whole world can prosper from this knowledge. Whole world can enjoy from this knowledge. If I prosper, I will only create a university. I will not create anything else. If the Hindus prosper, they will only create education institutions. Because Hinduism is all about giving, contributing. If I prosper, I'll create university, that's all. Kailasa is all about university to decode the ancient sciences and share with the world. Understand? Every day I am sitting and going on decoding, writing notes on my books and writing details on my books. Whether it is making human beings manifest powers, and I have also now started downloading and decoding the science of making animals manifest powers. Whether making people manifest powers or healing, in every level, life is all about contribution, contribution, contribution. Many people asked me, Swamiji, why did you leave such a huge empire you built in India and sitting somewhere in one corner for so many years? Be very clear. It's already 3 years. I left India. More than 3 years. This 3 years is worth, because I have done the foundation, legal. I welcome you all with my love and respect. Let you all open all your 3 eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. Om Nityananda Paramashivam.
All the participants that are there sitting with us. We had a very, very beautiful sharing from the House of Representatives who came and shared their personal eyewitness testimonials of how they enjoyed the Kumbh Mela. And we all listened to Swamiji, how this revival of Kailasa nation, revival of Hinduism is Swamiji's vision right from the time of his descent onto planet Earth. And how despite all the persecution, we all saw how the attacks happened on Swamiji and how persistently Swamiji persevered to give us this nation called Kailasa so that all of us Hindus can experience Hinduism. All the participants that are watching us, all the viewers that are watching us on Facebook Live and on various other social media platforms, on YouTube, etc., I request all of you to share with us. Let us know how many of you want to be a part of Kailasa, this great grand happening. And if you want to, you all can sign up to sknjp.org/contribute. And now it is time for all of us to enter into the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Kalabhairava and Bhava Samadhi Darshan. This is the darshan that they understand the pure consciousness manifests through the being and physically through the Nijavatara. This science is called as Bhava Samadhi Darshan. This is a science unique to Hinduism, and it's an extremely rare science that Swamiji has revived. And we have been experiencing the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, the various forms, various different deities, various different dimensions of Paramashivam. We have been experiencing these Bhava Samadhi Darshans through Swamiji. And so many, literally almost 100% of participants, whoever participates in these Bhava Samadhi Darshans, have been experiencing phenomenal transformations, life-transforming experiences of Kundalini awakening and awakening of the third eye, and manifesting extraordinary powers of Paramashiva. And today, we are going to be experiencing one such extraordinary, powerful Bhava Darshan of Bhagavan Kalabhairava. And now we will be chanting the Dhyana Shloka of Bhagavan Kalabhairava as we are all getting ready for the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. So, as all of us are going to be receiving this Bhava Samadhi Darshan, when you sit there with the Sankalpa in whatever is your intention to manifest, just by sitting in the presence of the avatar, through the science of Shaktini Pada, the quantum entanglement which happens, where the exact activities, the neural activity that happens in the avatar's brain reflects in us, mirrors into us. A very, very powerful process which simply and remove, literally rewire your inner software to be able to receive the highest conscious existence in life. So now we will be chanting the Dhyana Shloka of Bhagavan Kalabhairava. Shulam Damarukam Chaiva Shankham Chakram Gadadharam Khadgam Patram Cha Khatwakam Pasham Kushadharam Tata Dashabaham Trinetram Cha Sarparajopavitinam Digambaram Kumaram Cha Vanavahana Samyutam Damshtakarala Vadanam Mastaishwaryam Phaladam Chandika Shakti Sahitam Dhyayet Samhara Bhairavam. Now, in this same space, let us get into the space of meditation. Please sit with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Close your eyes and start chanting the Mahavakya. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. Continuously chant the Mahavakya and be in a deep, blissful awareness. Please have your eyes closed. Inhale and exhale deeply and slowly. And now, in space, to prepare your inner space of immense gratitude and get ready to receive the darshan of Bhagavan Kalabhairava.
I welcome you all with my love and respect. Let you all open all your three eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. 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 Om Nityananda Paramashivam.
வராண்டா கருப்பழக அவ எங்க பேரழக சந்தன பொட்டுக்கார சவ்வாது வாசக்கார வராண்டா கருப்பழக அவ எங்க பேரழக பாக்கத்தான் கோபக்கார உண்மையில பாசக்காரன் காலத்தின் கடவுளடா கருணையில் கடலடா கும்பிட மருகணமே தரிசனம் கொடுப்பாண்டா கூப்பிட குரலுக்கு ஓடி வந்து நிற்பாண்டா காவல் கேட்டா காசூலம் தாங்கி காப்பாண்டா வராண்டா கருப்பழக வராண்டா கருப்பழக அவ எங்க பேரழக சந்தன பொட்டுக்காரன் சப்பாது வாசக்காரன் வாராண்டா கருப்பழகன் அவன் எங்க பேரழகன் பாக்கத்தான் கோவக்காரன் உண்மையில பாசக்காரன் ஏழுகால பூஜைகடா செய்யு பாக்கியம் கிடைச்சதடா கற்று வச்ச மந்திரமும் கண்ண கண்டது மறந்ததடா ஏழுகால பூஜைகடா செய்யு பாக்கியம் கிடைச்சதடா கற்று வச்ச மந்திரமும் கண்ண கண்டது மறந்ததடா பாலபிஷேகம் செய்திடவே பாவ மோட்சம் கிட்டியதடா கோவக்கார கண்ணத்துக்கு சந்தனத்தை புசுங்கடா அழகின் அம்சமடா என் மீச மாமனடா வாராண்டா வாராண்டா அவ கண்ண உருட்டிக்கிட்டே வாராண்டா வாராண்டா அவ மீச முறுக்கிக்கிட்டே வாராண்டா வாராண்டா அவ நெஞ்ச நிமித்திக்கிட்டே வாராண்டா வாராண்டா அவ சூளோ ஏந்திக்கிட்டு வாராண்டா கருப்பழகன் அவ எங்க பேரழக சந்தன பொட்டுக்கார சப்பாது வாசக்கார வாராண்டா கருப்பழகன் அவ எங்க பேரழக பாக்கத கோபக்கார உண்மையில பாசக்கார
மக்களை எல்லாம் மகா பரமசிவ நிலைய உணர வைக்க அந்த 18ஆம் படி கருப்பு பாம்பு காட்டுக்குள்ள காலபைரவனா குடிபுகுந்து கலிகால பூமிய கைலாயமா மாத்த வந்திருக்கோம். அம்மையப்பன் நித்யானந்தன் பூரணம் கொண்டு வந்த அழக பாடிடதான் வேண்டுமோ? நித்யானந்தா 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 எங்க கருப்பா எனக்கே உனக்காக தந்தேனையா கருப்பா எனக்கே உனக்காக தந்தேனையா கருப்பா கண்டவாள போட்டுக்கிட்டு சங்கிலி மணி மாலை சுத்தி கண்ட மாலை போட்டுக்கிட்டு சங்கிலி மணி மாலை சுத்தி வெள்ளி சூளம் கையில கருப்பா பெரிய வெள்ளி சூளம் கையில கருப்பா எங்க கருப்பா அழகு கருப்பா போட்ட கருப்பா சங்கிலி கருப்பா விரைவில் வருவாய் எந்த கருப்பா வருவாய் குருவாய் அருள்வாய் வருவாய் குருவாய் அருள்வாய் கருப்பா நீ வருவாய் குருவாய் அருள்வாய் கருப்பா பசமுடன் ஓடி வந்து சமகாருடன் தந்து நாய் போல வாசல் காட்டும் கருப்பா மற்ற குழந்தை போல வாசத்தை காட்டிடுவான் மெச்ச ஒரு அதிகில்ல கருப்பா உன்னை மெச்ச ஒரு அதிகில்ல கருப்பா பெரிய கருப்பா வீச்சருவா வீச்சுக்கிட்டே வராரு வெங்க புள்ளி போல இங்கு வீரமாக வராரு கருப்பா உன்னையே வந்தோ கருப்பா நித்யானந்தா 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 நித்யானந்தா
देवराजसेव्यमान पावनाम्नि पङ्कजं व्यालयज्ञसूत्रमिन्दुशेखरं कृपाकरं नारदादियोगिवृन्दवन्दितं दिगम्बरं काशिकापुरादिनाथ कालभैरवं भजे देवराजसेव्यमान पावनाम्नि पङ्कजं व्यालयज्ञसूत्रमिन्दुशेखरं कृपाकरं नारदादियोगिवृन्दवन्दितं दिगम्बरं काशिकापुरादिनाथ कालभैरवं भजे नायकं विशालकीर्तिदायकं काशीवासलोकपुण्यपापशोधकं विभुं नीतिमार्गकोविदं पुरातनं जगत्पतिं काशिकापुरादिनाथ कालभैरवं भजे कालभैरवाष्टकं पठत्ये मनोहरं ज्ञानमुक्तिसाधनं विचित्रपुण्यवर्धनं लोकमोहदैन्यलोकगोपतापनाशनं हे प्रयाति कालभैरवाम्बिसन्निधिं ध्रुवम् काशिकापुरादिनाथ कालभैरवं भजे काशिकापुरादिनाथ कालभैरवं भजे काशिकापुरादिनाथ कालभैरवं भजे
வாராண்டா கருப்பழக அவ எங்க பேரழக சந்தன பொட்டுக்கார சவ்வாது வாசக்கார வாராண்டா கருப்பழக அவ எங்க பேரழக பாக்கத்தான் கோபக்கார உண்மையில பாசக்கார காலத்தின் கடவுளடா கருணையில் கடலடா கும்பிட மருகணமே தரிசனம் கொடுப்பாண்டா கூப்பிட்ட குரலுக்கு ஓடி வந்து நிற்பாண்டா காவல் கேட்டா காசூலம் தாங்கி காப்பாண்டா வாராண்டா கருப்பழக வாராண்டா கருப்பழக அவ எங்க பேரழக சந்தன பொட்டுக்கார சப்பாது வாசக்கார வாராண்டா கருப்பழக அவ எங்க பேரழக பாக்கத்தான் கோபக்கார உண்மையில பாசக்காரன் ஏழுகால பூஜைகடா செய்யும் பாக்கியம் கிடைச்சதடா கற்று வச்ச மந்திரமும் கண்ண கண்டது மறந்ததடா ஏழுகால பூஜைகடா செய்யும் பாக்கியம் கிடைச்சதடா கற்று வச்ச மந்திரமும் கண்ண கண்டது மறந்ததடா பாலபிஷேகம் செய்திடவே பாவ மோட்சம் கிட்டியதடா கோபக்கார கண்ணத்துக்கு சந்தனத்தை புசுங்கடா அழகின் அம்சமடா என் மீச மாமனடா வாராண்டா வாராண்டா அவ கண்ண உருட்டிக்கிட்டே வாராண்டா வாராண்டா அவ மீச முறுக்கிக்கிட்டே வாராண்டா வாராண்டா அவ நெஞ்ச நிமித்திக்கிட்டே வாராண்டா வாராண்டா அவ சூளோ ஏந்திக்கிட்டே வாராண்டா கருப்பழக அவ எங்க பேரழக சந்தன பொட்டுக்கார சப்பாது வாசக்கார வாராண்டா கருப்பழக அவ எங்க பேரழக பாக்கத கோபக்கார உண்மையில பாசக்கார அவசரத்தில் அலங்கரிச்சாலும் அவன் அழகுக்கு பஞ்சமில்லையே பூமால பார்த்து புட்டாக்கா அவன் ஆனந்தத்திற்கெல்லையே இல்ல ஏற்றிய தூபத்தை விட உண்மைனி மணக்குதையா காட்டிய தீபத்தில் திவ்ய தரிசனம் கிட்டியதையா குசித்த நைவேத்தியத்தால் அமிர்தம் ஒன்று கிடைத்ததையா கண்ட கற்பூர காட்சியிலே கண்கள் கசிந்து வடிந்ததையா சந்தன மேனியனுக்கு சந்தனத்துல பட்டையிடு கண்ணில மைய தீட்டி மீசையத்தான் முறுக்கிவிடு சந்தன மேனியனுக்கு சந்தனத்துல பட்டையிடு கண்ணில மைய தீட்டி மீசையத்தான் முறுக்கிவிடு முறைச்சி பார்த்தாக்கா கண்ணத்தை கிள்ளி விடுடா வாராண்டா கருப்பழக அப்ப எங்க பேரழக சந்தன பொட்டுக்கார சப்பாது வாசக்கார வாராண்டா கருப்பழக அவ எங்க பேரழக பாக்கதான் கோபக்கார உண்மையில பாசக்கார தேவியின் கருணையுடன் சிவனின் விஸ்வரூபம் தர்மம் வழி நடப்போரின் கர்மம் நீக்கி காத்திடுவான். மாயையை விலக்கியே பூர்ணத்துவம் கொடுத்திடுவான். காலத்தை வென்ற கால காலனிவன் சகல கால பூஜையுடன் இந்நாளும் முடிந்ததடா. வேறென்ன வேண்டும் இனி உன்னை கட்டி அணைப்பேனடா. திருமேனி தீண்டவே அனுதினம் எழுவேனடா. திருமேனி தீண்டவே அனுதினம் எழுவேனடா. சத்தியம் சாத்தியமானதடா. நெஞ்சம் நித்யானந்தத்தில் நிறைந்ததடா. 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 நித்யானந்தம் 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 நித்யானந்தம்.
सेव्यमान पावनाम्रि पङ्कजं व्यालयज्ञसूत्रं हिन्दुशेखरं कृपाकरं नारदादि योगि वृन्दवन्दितं दिगम्बरं काशिकापुरादिनाथ कालभैरवं भजे. देवराज सेव्यमान पावनाम्रि पङ्कजं व्यालयज्ञसूत्रं हिन्दुशेखरं कृपाकरं नारदादि योगि वृन्दवन्दितं दिगम्बरं काशिकापुरादिनाथ कालभैरवं भजे.
It is such a powerful darshan of Bhagavan Kalabhairava. Just had this beautiful darshan. Now we are going to be